I'm Patrick Lancaster. We've got some breaking news coming out of Washington. 6 Democratic lawmakers have released a video or PSA, public service announcement, telling U.S. soldiers that they can and should refuse unlawful orders. Now, that is the law, and they can and should. But what was their message? Was it a message against the Republicans? Seems so, but we'll get into that. But what came next is something the United States has never seen before. President Trump responded, calling it seditious behavior punishable by death, demanding the lawmakers arrested and put on trial. And we're about to break that down. And in this video, we're going to show you the full video, the PSA, the full reaction from the White House, Trump's full reactions, and the fallout that followed. And this PSA that, I mean, let's admit it, there's no getting around it, was aimed at the orders coming from Trump and obviously directed at service members to disobey unlawful orders. So they're obviously implying that the President of the United States is giving unlawful orders. You know, they can hem and haw around it, but I mean, come on, that's what they're doing. And this video had 6 members, 2 senators and 4 Congress reps.
I'm Senator Alyssa Socket.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris Deluzio.
Congresswoman Maddie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly.
Okay, so obviously they start by giving their credentials. So these aren't just some nobodies. I mean, astronauts, intelligence, and more. But one thing in common, they're all Democrats going against the President of the United States.
Speak directly to members of the military
And the intelligence community.
Who take risks each day to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now. Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
And intelligence community professionals.
Against American citizens.
like us.
Okay, now they are outright saying that, I mean, you heard it, the administration is putting the military and intelligence against U.S. citizens. Now that, the question is that comment sedition? That's questionable. This is the first time I've watched it through. I wanted to watch the full thing through with you guys to get my full reaction. Now, okay, from what I've heard about it before, stating don't follow unlawful orders, yeah, that's a given. Don't follow unlawful orders. If they just said that, it wouldn't necessarily be saying that Trump was giving the unlawful orders. But stating that the administration is turning the military and intelligence community against U.S. citizens, now that, I mean, I'm not a lawyer, that might be a gray area. I mean, are stepping over the line. I mean, stating the current administration is putting the military against citizens. I mean, that's Civil War speech right there. I mean, that's big. See, that's way more important than them saying not to follow unlawful orders. Because I was in the military, you're not supposed to follow unlawful orders. That's a given.
You all swore an oath
To protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law or our Constitution.
And that's a fact. Like I said, that's a fact.
We know this is hard, and that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
The Army, or Navy,
the Air Force,
Your vigilance is critical.
and know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
The American people need you. We need you to stand up for our laws.
our Constitution,
and who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
I'm Senator Alyssa Socket.
Okay, are those fighting words? That's hard. That's hard. Yeah, unlawful orders, okay. I'm with you. Don't follow unlawful orders. That's a given. No, but if you choose not to follow unlawful orders and they turn out to be lawful, then you're fucked. Okay, what is sedition? Let's have a look. Sedition is the overt conduct such as speech or organization that tends toward rebellion against established order. Sedition often includes subversion of a constitution or incitement of disconduct towards or insurrection against established authority. Now, is that what this was? Stating that the administration is turning the military against the civilians and telling the soldiers not to give up, and basically implying they should move against the administration. Is that something that tends towards rebellion against the administration? Quite possibly. I mean, let's not even talk about the unlawful orders. I said, that's a given. But they went farther than that. They did go farther than that. All right, so you saw the video. Can you comment below, what do you think their goal was by making this video? Do you think their goal was insurrection? To have soldiers move against the administration? Is that their goal? Is their goal rebellion? What could be their end game here? Trump's reaction was immediate and explosive. First, he called it seditious behavior from traitors and to lock them up. Then he said they should be arrested. And then he called it again seditious behavior, punishable by death. Now, then everybody jumped on the bandwagon and say he's calling for the execution of congressmen. And is that what he did? Comment below. He says something that's a case, that it is punishable by death if it's found to be seditious behavior or sedition. So, if that's what he was calling for, then it'll be the first time in U.S. history. He's right. It is punishable by death. It's interesting to think about what their goals were and what his meaning was. As his social media posts continued, things became more clear what he was really saying. He again said they needed to be put on trial, charged with sedition, and even saying, hang them, which he amplified. So, yes, he made it clear that he is the first president in history to be apparently calling for the execution of members of Congress. I mean, who's right here? Is anybody right here? Are they both wrong? So what does the White House have to say about this? Not just Trump. Well, the press secretary came out saying that no, the president does not want to execute anyone, but what they said is potentially punishable by law. Let's have a look at the video and you say for yourself and comment below what you think.
This morning, President Trump accused 6 Democratic lawmakers of seditious behavior punishable by death. Just to be clear, does the president want to execute members of Congress?
No. Let's be clear about what the president is responding to, because many in this room want to talk about the president's response, but not what brought the president to responding in this way. You have sitting members of the United States Congress who conspired together to orchestrate a video message to members of the United States military, to active duty service members, to members of the national security apparatus, encouraging them to defy the president's lawful orders. The sanctity of our military rests on the chain of command. And if that chain of command is broken, it can lead to people getting killed. It can lead to chaos. And that's what these members of Congress who swore an oath to abide by the Constitution are essentially encouraging. We have 1.3 active duty service members in this country. And if they hear this radical message from sitting members of Congress, that could inspire.
Now, let's be clear. I believe they're not necessarily talking about where they said unlawful orders. They're talking about, yes, there is no question that these 6 congressmen conspired to say that the administration is turning the U.S. military and intelligence community against the civilian people. That's what they said. Now, they, of course, are implying that administration to do that is giving unlawful orders. So this isn't just as black and white as saying they said unlawful orders and he said them saying that is saying he's giving. No, they went more in depth than that.
Chaos, and it could incite violence, and it certainly could disrupt the chain of command. These 3 members of Congress, I will also add, knew exactly what they were doing. You look at Alyssa Slotkin. She's a former member of the CIA. Mark Kelly was a captain in the U.S. Navy. Maggie Goodlander was a naval officer, and notably, she is also the wife of Joe Biden's national security former advisor, Jake Sullivan. And so these members knew what they were doing. They were leading into their credentials as former members of our military, as veterans, as former members of the national security apparatus to signal to people serving under this commander-in-chief, Donald Trump, that you can defy him and you can betray your oath of office. That is a very, very dangerous message, and it perhaps is punishable by law. I'm not a lawyer. I'll leave that to the Department of Justice and the Department of War to decide.
But the president has frequently, but Caroline, can I just follow up? The president and the vice president, for that matter, have accused the other side of encouraging political violence. Isn't that exactly what the president is doing when he says that members of Congress should be killed?
Why aren't you talking about what these members of Congress are doing to encourage and incite violence? They are literally saying to 1.3 million active duty service members not to defy the chain of command, not to follow lawful orders.
Actually,
every single
you can refuse an illegal order, which
but
is
they're suggesting, Nancy, that the president has given illegal orders, which he has not. Every single order that is given to this United States military by this commander-in-chief and through this chain of command, through the Secretary of War, is lawful. And the courts have proven that. This administration has an unparalleled record at the Supreme Court because we are following the laws. We don't defy court orders. We do things by the books. And to suggest and encourage that active duty service members defy the chain of command is a very dangerous thing for sitting members of Congress to do. And they should be held accountable. And that's what the president wants to see.
Well, you know, she's basically echoing what I have to say without addressing the statement about the administration turning the military and intelligence community against the people. For me, again, I'll probably say it a couple more times. That's what sticks out to me the most. And yes, they imply that he's giving unlawful orders to do that. So yes, in my mind, I don't like to give my opinions in my reports, but hey, I'm not on the front line now. Might as well give my opinions here. This is leaning towards rebellion. And I mean, this is, you know, one of those things that, could this be a first step to civil war? I mean, this is literally turning sides, calling for turning against the president's administration, calling the military to turn against the president's administration. That's what they're doing. They knew that what they were doing. Dangerous stuff, really dangerous stuff. All right, well, let's take a second to break away from this subject. We got a lot more to get into. We got the reactions from the congressmen themselves that put out videos and more important information on this. But for now, let's talk a little bit about our sponsor, Americanore Resources. You know, I don't bring you sponsors that are just bullshit and you're not going to get anything out of, or at least I try not to. Again, I always say I don't bring you VPNs and bullshit like that, video games and, you know, furniture, other things like that, like other YouTubers. I mean, if I ever brought maybe an office chair, maybe I would, but in general, no. So I want to talk to you about this company that might be beneficial for you and your family. Just take a minute or two and let's get into it. Normally on the front line, I show you the hard realities of war, destruction, survival or attempted survival, and just what people really go through. And whether you're in a position like that where every day is life or death, or you're just trying to take care of your family on a daily basis and make room for a better future, there's things that can help with that. And many things can do that, but right now, silver is something that really has become more than just a historic store of value. It's hitting all-time highs, and the global demand is surging. Whether you're just getting little silver coins or something else, just a whole little bit of store of value for your children. Maybe like I have, when my children all were born, I got them little silver coins. But now silver is not only just a store of value. You can get even more in depth into a actual resource company like Americanore that is publicly traded. And you can see the tickers on the screen now. I'm not a financial advisor, but I bring you things that you're not going to see anywhere else, or at least a perspective that you're not going to see anywhere else, whether it's on the front line, in the studio, or talking about opportunities that might help you and your family, or not, but at least bringing you some information that you could do your own research. And some of the best opportunities for silver, as far as the exploration of silver, are in Nevada, which is also known as the Silver State. Long before Nevada was known for Vegas or Reno, gambling and all that, it was known for their exploration of silver. Americanore Resources, trading under AMCOF in the US and AMCO in Canada, is positioning itself at the center of Nevada's modern silver resurgence. This company is focused on high potential silver exploration in a jurisdiction that has produced more wealth creating mineral discoveries than anywhere else in the American West. And if we look at the numbers, something that makes this a little bit more possibly compelling than just buying hard silver is the stock price. Right now, it's selling at 25 cents, which is a huge discount, you could say, compared to the bigger silver exploration companies like Discovery Silver or Dolly Varden Silver. And they've recently acquired the Trinity Silver Project in Nevada from the Newmont Corporation. Now, as part of the deal, the Newmont Corporation is becoming a shareholder in Americanore. And when $100 billion company takes notice, that means things are headed in an upward direction most of the time. And this project isn't a brand new play with uncertain potential. It's already produced over 5 million ounces of silver, with an estimated 28 million ounces of silver still in the ground. And again, Americanore Resources trading under AMCOF in the United States and AMCO in Canada. You can do your own research. I'm not giving you financial advice, but have a look. Click on the link in the pinned comments or to the description and see what information they have. Look up the tickers yourself and see if it's something that could benefit you and your family. But check it out. I mean, they were good enough to sponsor this video, so I think they're worth a look. Go down to the pinned comments and click on the link. We'll get back to more about Americanore Resources at the end of the video, but for now, we're getting back to this scandal in Washington, see what other reactions there are and what information we can find. And what do these lawmakers have to say about what Trump said? Well, Rep. Jason Crow, an Army Ranger veteran, as you saw in the video, he says, I will not be intimidated by a man who doesn't understand the Constitution. And Senator Mark Kelly, a Navy veteran and astronaut, said they're already receiving death threats, and this rhetoric is reckless and unacceptable from a president. Well, is what you did unacceptable from a lawmaker? I mean, you borderline called for rebellion against the administration of the President of the United States. Let's not beat around the bush. That's what you did. Okay, again, I say, not following unlawful orders is a good thing. Military men should do that. But saying the administration is putting the military against the civilians, come on, that's calling for rebellion. It's just, there's no way around that. But let's look at the video that Mark Kelly put out in response to Trump.
Hey folks, Donald Trump called for my execution. Now I served 25 years in the United States Navy. I
More or
flew
less.
39 combat missions. I flew into space 4 times. Never once did I expect that at some point the President of the United States was going to threaten me with being hanged because of something I said.
Okay, did you once think that you would be stating that the presidential administration is turning the military and intelligence community against the civilians? And borderline calling for rebellion? Probably not either.
Folks, we have a Constitution. We have First Amendment constitutional rights of free speech. I know a little bit about political violence. My wife, Gabby, was nearly assassinated. She was shot in the head because of political violence. She nearly died.
Of course, that's unacceptable, but comparing what you said about the presidential administration and a follow-up response to be prosecuted compared to an attempted assassination is a little bit of a stretch.
These are the kind of threats that this president makes. Not just to
That's bullshit.
me, some of my colleagues as well. Just this week, he did this. Threatened our lives, said we should be hanged because of something we said. This is dangerous, and this kind of rhetoric, especially from a president of the United States, makes us all less safe.
Maybe he has a point. I mean, comment below. Who is right, who's wrong? Are they both fucked up or what?
Folks, if you can, speak out about this. It's dangerous talk from a president who doesn't really seem to get it, doesn't understand his responsibilities under the Constitution. And I gotta say, this was a rather disturbing thing for him to do.
And for most of the country, it was a disturbing thing for you to do. Putting out this PSA stating, again, that the presidential administration is turning the military against the civilians. Come on. All right, so that's the end of his response. You know, what can you say? He's stretching. I don't think they were both, either one was right, really. And let's have a look at the Republican split reaction. Some Republicans seem to be defending Trump, while others not so much. But Senator Mitt Romney calling for the prosecution of political opponents is authoritarian behavior. No, if you were just calling for them without them breaking laws, I mean, it's fucked up. Both sides overstepped their boundaries. I mean, there's no question that these 6 Democrats overstepped what they should have done. And it seems, come on, Trump overstepped by saying they should be hanged. No question there. And let's look at Representative Dan Crenshaw, a Navy SEAL veteran. Telling troops to ignore orders is wrong, but calling for the death penalty for members of Congress is insane. Well, you know, he's kind of got a point. Legal experts are coming out saying that the Lawmakers PSA is protective political speech, but Trump's references to execution is abusive, incendiary, and a threat to democratic norms. And security officials have said that there's been a spike in death threats to these lawmakers since Trump's posts. Now, I'm in my second decade of covering wars as a journalist, and when politicians start speaking directly to soldiers about the president turning the soldiers against the civilians, it's not a good thing. And when presidents start threatening to execute lawmakers, that's also not a good thing. And the story's far from over. Hopefully this does not lead to an even bigger internal struggle or possibly a civil war in the United States. I mean, that's a far stretch, but this is the first time in history this has happened. So, again, I'm Patrick Lancaster, and this has been my take on it, and as much information possible for you here on this historic story right now. So please like, share, subscribe, hit the pinned comment in the description, click on the Americanore resources link, check it out, and also my crowdfunding links are in the description. You can go subscribe to my Substack. That's where most of my journalism comes, much more than what's in my YouTube channel. I go deep dives in there, so go check it out. It's free. You can subscribe for a paid subscription for $8 a month, but not necessary. Everything, 99% of the stuff is free. Yeah, I'm glad you're here with us. Please subscribe. Let's get that million soon on YouTube. And now let's get back into Americanore resources. So again, why Nevada? Well, because investors know the rule. If you want to find new silver, go where silver has already made history. So I've told you before, Nevada's geology, infrastructure, and track record make it one of the safest, most productive, and most mining-friendly jurisdictions in the world. And that's why some of the biggest names in the sector go to Nevada. And unlike these bigger companies, Americanore Resources gives investors a rare early stage opportunity to get into Nevada's potential during this time when silver is surging and investor interest is skyrocketing. Nevada built its identity on silver, and Americanore Resources is stepping in for the next chapter. If you're looking for a high-impact silver exploration opportunity, then go down and check out Americanore Resources, trading at AMCOF in the US, and again, AMCO in Canada. I'm not an expert in mining, but Americanore was good enough to sponsor this video, did some research, and I found it interesting, and it might be something that benefits you and your family. Of course, I didn't just take it on a whim. I go in depth with all of my sponsors. I check them out myself before I bring them to you. And after I bring them to you, as always, I go even farther in depth. That's why I don't just give you a one-off, sponsored video that many YouTubers do. You see, they just talk bullshit about something and then just move on. No. I get in depth. I do interviews with CEOs of these companies. I just don't talk bullshit. So soon we're going to be getting an interview with hopefully the CEO of Americanore Resources, or at least someone close to the top, to get in depth with it, not to necessarily affect our coverage on the war and on the world news, but to get in depth for something that might help your family, because I want to do that. I want to help you not only understand the news and what's happening in the Russia-Ukraine war, but to help your family overall. Maybe this will help. Maybe you'll decide after doing your own research that it won't. But right now, go down to the link in the description or in the pinned comments, click on it, take a read. If you're interested or not, why not? And again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you to invest. But do your own research. Go down and click on the link and let me know in the comments what you think. Am I off the ball here? Or is this something interesting? I mean, again, I'm not a stock professional, but I'm doing what I can. All right, again, please like, share, subscribe. Remember, I'm a crowd-funded independent journalist. Of course, I also do these sponsors on occasion when I, again, feel like it could help your family. You can support my work with the other link in the description. Make sure you go subscribe to my Substack. That link is in the description. So much more deep dives and other things than just my videos go in Substack. So let's show the world together what's happening. Please like, share, subscribe. I'm out.